Hey everyone, welcome to the Week 25 U.S. History launch, and we're going to continue our discussion of the Civil War project, as well as the focus areas that go along with it. Oh, would you look at that? The CPDLF Gazette. The headline on that was that I will be out of office on February 12th to the 14th. So that is Monday through Wednesday. I will actually be in the land of chocolate. So what I'd like you guys to know is that I'll be there for an educator technology conference for a couple days, learning some pretty cool things to take back to you guys. But if something happens and you need something in my course or need any help, please reach out to Mr. Bainey or our principal, Mrs. Salyards. There's lots of people here that can still help you, even if I'm not there. I will be trying to do some grading in the evenings while I'm there, as well as responding to Hangouts when I'm not at some sort of session. So my response might be slower than usual, but if you need something immediate, make sure you call the school. The number's 814-682-5258, and you can ask for Mrs. Salyards, Mr. Bainey, Mrs. Walters, Mrs. Roop. Any of them will be willing to help you. Okay, so in U.S. history this week, if you're asking where you are, what you're supposed to be doing, if you want to take a look at the blue line in your course, it would tell us that we should be just about halfway done with the Civil War art and art analysis project, and we should have hopefully passed the early 1800s in the South focus area, as well as at least started trying to pass the abolishing slavery focus area. Make sure you're asking for help if you need it. Again, you can send a Hangout, email, call me at my direct line. We could do a virtual Zoom meeting. You could attend a learning lab on Mondays or Thursdays from 1 to 3. And then we also do have the CPDLF help desk chat. That's the newest feature. So I'm hoping that some of you start taking advantage of this. Again, it's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. and Fridays from 5 to 7. And that will be where one of our math or history or science teachers or English teachers will be available during that time. And if you click on the link, again, the link is housed in the About page of your Google Classrooms. And you just want to click on that link, and then it might appear to be a blank page, but you want to click on, in the bottom right, there's an Ask Us a Question button. Checkpoint 4 for the Civil War project is the attempts to rebuild. So you're answering one of the essential questions below. It's either, was Reconstruction a success or a failure? Or how did Reconstruction affect the lives of African Americans? For those of you who aren't sure, Reconstruction is the name of the period that occurred right after the Civil War when the United States was attempting to rebuild. So I do recommend, you'll want to make sure for these that you are using this resource, African Americans and Reconstruction Primary Sources. So to do this checkpoint right and to do your final product right, you need to be making sure that you're getting evidence from these primary sources. And then I also just wanted to point out this graphic organizer. Anytime you see a graphic organizer listed in the resource section, I highly recommend using them because it is a nice way to take notes as you go and you're reading through all of the documents. Another thing I wanted to point out was make sure you're reading all of the documents, okay? You don't have, it's very obvious when some of you settle for document A, and because your argument's actually not as strong as it could have been had you brought in elements of document D or E or any of the other ones. So I recommend reading through all of the documents, taking notes on that graphic organizer, and seeing which parts of those documents help prove your point the best. I just wanted to explain and give you guys an example of explanation of evidence. So we already go over the introduction of evidence. You know, according to a newspaper article from 1873, so-and-so said this. And then you want to make sure you don't just end with the quote, you want to explain what that evidence means. So here's a sample. This claim would be, pretend you're writing a paper on, you know, entertainers or rappers. Your claim is that Kanye West is the most controversial rapper in America at this moment. That's an opinion, so now you have to back it up with facts. So your evidence would be, according to the San Jose Mercury News, Kanye stopped his concert midway to express his political views. He stated that he did not vote in the November president election, but if he did, he would not have voted for Donald Trump. At a concert in Sacramento a few days later, Kanye ended his show abruptly after another political rant and having only been on stage for a half hour. So that's your evidence, but now you need to explain that in your own words and tie that into how does that make him the most controversial guy in America. So your explanation would be, Kanye's actions in San Jose and Sacramento prove that he is controversial. While many artists in America made their political opinions known, Kanye has clearly taken it to the next level by preventing his audiences to enjoy his concert without his rants and commentary. Thus, Kanye not only controversial, but facing wide criticism from his fans and the concert industry. So that's the proper way to work through presenting and explaining evidence. And I just showed you guys this one because this is a way to copy and paste a link into it. So you want to copy the URL, paste the link into the presentation, then you want to highlight all of that and go up to the toolbar and hit link. And that's going to make it an actual link to your document. So that's what you should be doing when you're presenting the link to your art projects. For week 25, which runs February 14th to February 20th, you should be working on the abolishing slavery, Civil War, and Reconstruction focus areas. Again, you do not have to pass all of these in this week. It's just you should be in this region somewhere because these are the 3 focus areas that have to do with the project that you're working on. Then you should also be aiming to submit checkpoint 3 of the Civil War art project. And if you're up for a challenge, try to complete the Early America, Geography, and Culture focus areas. So that's an additional one that's kind of extra credit. So it will only help your grade. It doesn't matter if you don't pass it. I do want to end on one thing. It's a very short video from Khan Academy. I know some of you are very frustrated with the summit. You feel it's difficult, and it is, you're right. But it doesn't mean that it's a bad platform. It's different, it's challenging, and the goal of the summit is to challenge you to be better problem solvers and to be forward thinkers and to be positive and to take what you learn here and apply it for the rest of your life. So I want you to watch this short video, and then your reflection for this week is to go back into the Google Classroom, and I want you to answer what is one thing that stood out to you in the video below.
Nobody's born smart. We all start at 0. Can't talk, can't walk, certainly can't do algebra. Adding, reading, riding a bike. Nobody's good at anything at first. There was a time when Einstein couldn't count to 10. And Shakespeare had to learn his ABCs just like the rest of us. Thankfully, we're born to learn. Slowly, surely, you stumble, slip, crawl, fall, and fail and fall. Frustrating, confusing, trying, struggling, until one day, you walk. One foot in front of the other, one idea on top of the next, each wrong answer making your brain a little bit stronger. Failing is just another word for growing, and you keep going. This is learning. Knowing that you'll get it, even if you haven't gotten it yet. Because the most beautiful, complex concepts in the whole universe are built on basic ideas that anyone, anywhere, can understand. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you only have to know one thing. You can learn anything.